Hey guys, so in this video we're going to talk about pelvic tilt. The reason for that is it's a very important concept, both for our push-up work and then also for our hollow body work when we're talking about creating full body tension from the core for that pull-up. Okay, I see a lot in terms of low back injuries, the cause being pelvic tilt, which is if we're in the wrong position with our pelvis, we're going to take all the tension through our low back. And eventually our low back's going to get worn out. So we want to make sure that our pelvis is in the right position, both to protect our low back, but also to allow us to create that full body tension and make us stronger, basically. So I'm going to show you guys different examples of pelvic tilt. I'm going to start from standing. You can practice it along with me if you want. We'll go from standing to a quadruped position, then we'll go into a plank position, and then we'll flip over and talk about it in our hollow body. All right, so you're not going to see my head, that's fine. The important part is my pelvis. So if we're talking about pelvic tilt, I'm starting from standing straight. We have forward pelvic tilt, so we can call it anterior pelvic tilt. And then we have posterior pelvic tilt, which is our pelvis tilting backwards. So that's anterior, posterior. All right. When I'm in posterior pelvic tilt, I should be able to feel my quads being tight, my glutes should be able to be tight, and my core should be able to be tight. As I tilt it forward, I'm going to lose the tension in my quads, I'm going to lose tension in my core. Sometimes we'll want to do this kind of position for stretching, okay, and for spinal mobility, but not when we're going to load the spine in something like a plank or a push-up, all right? So we can take this now down to that quadruped position. I'm going to tilt you guys down a little bit so you can see the floor. There you go, my beautiful living room floor, nice and green. All right, so if I'm in a quadruped position, tuck my toes under. Now in yoga we have cow and cat. This is not the same. All right, so you're going to want to protract through your shoulders and get that X on rotation that we talked about in the last few videos. Okay, my upper back doesn't move now. All right. My eyes are staring in between my fingers like a triangle shape between my hands and my gaze. All right, and then I can just tilt my pelvis forward and tilt my pelvis back. And none of the rest of my body is moving. It's just my pelvis, okay? Once you're feeling comfortable with that, we can go to that plank position. Again, protraction, X on rotation through my shoulders and my scapula, right? From here, my quad should be tight. I should be in posterior pelvic tilt. I can then practice tilting my pelvis forward into anterior, posterior, anterior, posterior. Note that it's not this. I'm not rocking my hips forward and back. I'm just tilting my pelvis. Nothing else should move during that. If you can't do it without them moving, you can try also on your forearms first, and you can try also going back to that quadruped or standing position. Now let's look at that when we're flipped over onto our back for our hollow body. We want the same position. And sorry, for your push-ups as well, I'll just show you a quick push-up. We want to be in that posterior pelvic tilt for the whole of our push-up. So what we want is this. Tilt it under. What I often see is this. Eventually that's going to hurt my back, so I want to make sure that I'm tucked under. And likewise, if you ever go to a gym where they ask you to do push-ups on your knees, we're not going to do that in this program because they suck. But just in case you go to a gym where they ask you to do that, okay? Hands are under your shoulders. What I often see is this, that anterior pelvic tilt, and people do push-ups like this. All right, what we want is posterior pelvic tilt, so we've got a nice tight core. Then you come down and up. All right, don't push the butt out. Keep that tucked, okay? Flipping over into our hollow body. I think that you guys to start with your feet up in the air and hands reaching up. Why do I do this? It's not because I think it looks funny, even though it does. All right, it's because if I do this, you can see there's a gap under my spine. I'm in anterior pelvic tilt, right? So it can be quite hard to just quickly change my posterior pelvic tilt. If you can, great. But if not, try starting with those legs up, hands reaching up your legs. This is gonna put you into that posterior pelvic tilt. You should be able to pull down with that core, okay? Then you bring your arms by your side. So my shoulders still off the ground. My gaze is gonna be straight up. And then I can slowly bring my knees to bent. And you try extending one leg. If I start to lose it, wrong pelvic tilt, right? So I'm just gonna bring it back. That's fine. Just stay here, okay? If I extend one, that's fine. I can extend the other one. I'm always keeping that same pelvic tilt. So as soon as I start to lose it, it's too hard, okay? So if I need to bring them both back in, or just extend one, that is fine, okay? If I extend both and it's okay, then I bring my arms back behind me, and that's gonna be that full body position that we're looking for in the pull-up as well. So I'm practicing creating full body tension from my quads, my butt, my abs, and my upper body, okay? But stop at any stage, because the most important thing at the beginning is practicing creating that hollow position, being tight through the core and having our pelvis tilted in the right direction. So practice all of those. They're gonna come up anyway throughout the program, but just so you're aware of why it matters and why you should do these movements slowly and why you should care. Okay, so that's pelvic tilt. Practice it. Let me know if you have any problems. It's really common for people to not be able to feel their pelvis very well. So don't worry if it's tricky. Start slow, build from there.